Hey, good morning, Storm Nation. Happy Friday. My name is Gary Holsenberg. I'm your host for today. And as always, I've got Blair Blumenscheid, Team Shark captain.
Team Shark.
We have totally gone with that. Blair is now the team captain of Team Shark. Blair, what's happening on this Friday?
Sure, if I can really claim team captain.
I don't think so.
'Cause
Timmy Mack might have to be the captain.
Well, it's Tim and Sydney and even our friend on the Roto Grip, Chris Prather.
Yeah.
I'm just on Team Shark.
Yeah,
I'm the spokesperson for
You're
Team
a big
Shark.
supporter of Team Shark.
I am.
Yeah, and we're going to find out what our guest chooses today. We have a really cool guest today, Tom Twist. He's the commissioner of the UBA. Blair, do you know what the UBA is?
I do. It's the Underground Bowling Association.
It is so cool. I get to go to one UBA event a year. It's called Battle Bowl, and I love it. And I have so much fun. And in fact, you guys should see my jersey right here. Look, check it out. Brigham City Bolts. Can you see that? Yeah, and then I've got G Money. G Money is my name. Yep. And so you're going to learn all about the UBA today and how to get involved and why it's so cool. Before we get to that, Blair, I have a total life hack for you that you will not believe and might make you sad. It's life hack number 140.
It might make me sad?
Yeah, because it's 140, and it has to do with your favorite thing in the world. When it comes to staying awake, apples are actually more powerful than caffeine.
That's impossible.
And you are the caffeine freak.
No. There's no way apples. What? Apples? What
I know.
life hack is? I am looking that life hack up. I don't like your book anymore.
I love the life hack
No,
book.
it's
super fun and
It's
everything.
dead to me.
Hey, our guest is standing by. So what we're going to do, Blair, is we're going to play a small UBA video clip that you found. And by the way, you guys need to check out the UBA YouTube page because you will be entertained by all the videos that are on there, as am I. But today, in this video, you're going to get a little sense of what the UBA is about. You're going to meet the founder, and it's cool. And then, when we get out of the video, Blair, we get to interview Tom Twist, the commissioner, the commish of the UBA.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Here's our video.
We are bringing bowling back. Big fold and pass that cash.
Your boy is back up in the building. Y'all. Second time coming. I like to welcome y'all.
We got some hot links with deep pockets.
Reality.
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
What's going on?
I'm Phil Chance, Executive Director, CEO of the Underground Bowling Association. We started this back in 2009. Well, I thought bowling was the corniest thing in the world when I first started. I used to be into basketball, and as I got older, found bowling was the one sport where it didn't matter how old you were, what gender you were, everyone can compete on pretty much the same level.
I came from nothing to something like it.
All right, Mr. Tom Twist, UBA Commissioner. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for spending some time. First, let's get started with where are you? What part of the country are you calling in from?
I'm in northern New Jersey. If I would guess everybody would know where MetLife Stadium is. That's where the Giants and the Jets both play. I'm probably literally a quarter of a mile from there.
You can
it's
walk.
right in my backyard.
You can walk to a Jets game.
I could walk to a Jets or a Giants game. It's I can, and some nights with some good concerts, I can hear them right in my backyard. I'm kind of up on a little hill, so if I keep the window open and the wind blows the right way, I could listen to some concerts out there.
So who's your team?
Cool.
Do you have an NFL team?
Well, ironically enough, wearing the black and gold here, I grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Nice.
It's kind of my generation, I guess, where I grew up, and I had a cousin I was very close to. We both were Steelers fans growing up, but my father's had Giant season tickets. probably going back into the early '60s, where he's
Wow.
traveled up to the Yale Bowl and traveled to I believe Yankee Stadium. I believe they played, and he had tickets right in the first new stadium that they built here, the old Giant Stadium, and we've had season tickets going all the way through into the new MetLife Stadium.
Are you a football fan in general? Do you love NFL football?
Yeah, just we travel across the country every year too to see a game somewhere. So yeah, I just enjoy football in general. I didn't play it growing up. I was a bowler. I played soccer growing up actually, but football has always been a part of our family, and ironically enough, it's how I met my wife.
Oh, nice.
She sat next to us at Giant games, and kind of how we got to know each other and how we met. So the old Giant Stadium, which isn't there anymore, is actually where I met her. So
Did you buy her a beer and a bag of peanuts at the game?
ironically enough, she bought me a beer. That's
Nice.
how it all started. She got up and she asked anybody if they wanted anything, and I said sure, I'll take one. And I
Yeah.
handed her some money, and she bought a round of beers for everybody in the group there, and that's how it all started.
That's awesome. I love that story. So I've been to your stadium in your backyard one time in my life, and it was for a concert, and the band was Green Day. I saw Green Day perform there, and it was huge. It was like so many people. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, they really pack that stadium. They can, when they have the concerts in there, if they don't black out the back end of it, they can probably fit about 90,000 people in there. So it's a big stadium. Yeah, it's 82,000, I believe, for football games. So
Yeah.
it is a pretty big stadium.
So I want to talk about the UBA today. So you are the UBA commissioner, and
I am.
How long have you been in that role?
I started last year in July of 2019. So just coming up on a year here of serving as the commissioner.
And prior to that, were you involved?
Yeah, I came into the UBA probably in 2014 or 15, somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
Within the first year, I took on a role as a bracket runner in the local group, the Northeast that we had.
Yeah.
And as things started to expand, they needed different employees. So I moved up from a bracket runner to a district manager to an operational manager, and then from the operational manager, I came into my role as a commissioner.
And I just, this because I see you once a year in an event. And so I am a total fan of the UBA. Like, I love the UBA, and Storm loves the UBA. We love it. It is a different energy. It's a different type of bowling event at Storm, we're all about bowling, all types of bowling, all levels of bowling. And so for us, the UBA is definitely a different type of energy during the event. And I want to know what you think the secret sauce of the UBA is, because it is infectious. Like, you can't go to a UBA event and not go, wow, this is amazing, right? It is so much energy.
So one of the things that I've noticed, now I was a part of back in 2000, back 1999 in that area, I was involved with the regionals. So I saw the PBA side of things. I've been, this has been my 28th year going to the USBC Nationals. So I've seen all that competition from the PBA side to the USBC side.
Yeah.
And the UBA is so unique in the fact that we just allow everyone to kind of, you do your thing. You do you, and then the mesh of how people come together is the unique format that makes anybody can run a specific tournament, or anybody can do something where you can, something that's different from year to year and different places. But the wide variety of individuals, and I'm not even talking about races or creeds or religions. I mean, we have all of that. We've always had all of that.
Yeah.
It's just how these people interact with one another, and it's bowling. In the long run, it's bowling, and it's how these people come together. And I can't imagine back in what I was a part of the Junior Bowlers Tour as well back in the late '90s.
Yeah.
And that was where you established a whole group of friends that was, I know this guy and he's from Maryland. I know this guy and he's from Pennsylvania. And you mentioned a name earlier today that I heard you say, Tim Mack. Me and Timmy go back to when we were kids. He was a JBT bowler. I played golf with him one time. I mean, me and him go way back, and Timmy's the greatest guy. He's done wonders for Storm. Me and him were good friends when he was traveling across Europe, and a great ambassador of the sport and a tremendous bowler. I mean, back when we were kids, he was one of the people that was a legend in our area in the Northeast.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
So it's just a matter of how you know somebody, and now with social media and the way that social media has exploded, you can say to yourself, you know what, I'm friends with a guy in Texas. I'm friends with a guy in Ohio. I'm friends with a guy in Hawaii. And why did that happen? Well, because of the UBA. I have a few friends on my list that are guys from Alaska. We had an Alaska division of the UBA going back a few years ago, and that was one of my operational areas that I was taking care of. And 3 or 4 or 5 guys in my friends list are all from Alaska. When would that ever happen? And ironically enough, I went to one of the national events, and there were guys sitting next to me from Alaska. And I mentioned a few names, and they're like, yeah, I know that guy. He bowls in my league. It's like, so it's kind of funny how you can get together and you can go to different places. And the UBA itself, you can go to the national events. I go to the USBC Nationals, and I'm walking one way, and the guy walking next to me has got a UBA shirt on. And I may not necessarily know that guy, but I know he's a part of a team. I know where the team's from. And it's a culture that has been developed that has been second to none. It travels everywhere.
Yeah,
and no matter what team you're a part of, you can even be an independent within the organization, and it's going to travel. And I know that guy because I bowled in the UBA. And Storm has been great in getting in at the bottom level of where we started with our really first boom. Because with the way that bowling has kind of changed over the last couple of years, and businesses and companies struggling now with everything that's going on in the world, it was great to have Storm in there at the kind of the bottom end, I guess, of it, and building up with our organization to help with all of the different assets of what we're doing as far as the UBA is concerned. It makes it much easier. It makes it much more flexible for us to be able to do bigger things with the organization.
Yeah, well, we love being a part of the UBA, and we want to be a part of the UBA for as long as we possibly can, and as long as you guys want to partner with us. And so one thing I'm curious about is, where are we total franchises now? Do you have that number? I know that's not your exact expertise when it comes to UBA, but I just wondered how many total franchises, how many regions, and then let's talk about like the shirt I'm wearing today, because our franchise is the Brigham City Bolts, and what you guys have are franchises supporting different parts of our country, competing within that region, and then you have big championships like Battle Bowl that take place where everyone kind of comes together. So let's talk a little bit about this local structure that then expands to this bigger picture.
Okay, so we currently, I believe the number is got to be well over 250, somewhere between the 250 and 275 range.
Yeah.
And
total franchises.
Total franchises, yes.
Yep.
Now that it expands from, I believe, the furthest north east that we go is Massachusetts. And all we go from there, it stretches all the way down the East Coast, all the way down into Georgia. I'm not, I can't remember. I think we go out to Pennsylvania, obviously. New York goes out west. I know there's, I'm trying to visualize how far east, how far west anything goes. Virginia.
Well, at one time you guys did have a franchise in Alaska. I don't know if there's still a franchise, because I knew some of the guys that bowled in the Alaska franchise for the UBA, but there was no one at the time that was around them to compete against, really, because most of the stuff was happening on the East Coast. So as the UBA expands west, we will start to get more and more teams on the West Coast that can do some competitions and then head back and compete in stuff like Battle Bowl, right?
Yeah, the last information I received about Alaska was that they are still using our format. They're still competing in events under our formats.
Yes.
But they're not actually officially part of our, what we call our season tour, which is the where you would see the final. Everything that happens at Battle Bowl is it's a new season and it's an end of a season. So it's kind of a mix of both. Battle Bowl. You see the ending of the season, which we obviously won't see this year because we've had to suspend all of our season tour. But it would be the end of the season where you'd see the final playoffs for the 1920 season, and then you would see your champion crowned. But then you would see the start of a new season by seeing some events that are team-oriented that our opt-out period is in June this year, usually in July. And that's where you start to see some newer teams form. And that's in August when we get together. That's where you would see some of those newer powerhouse teams, I guess you would call them, or teams that want to try to develop a little bit better, and how they become bigger teams. And they'll compete with those newer teams at Battle Bowl for almost like a preview of the new season.
Yeah, so if you're out there and you want to get involved in the UBA and form your own franchise, how does someone go about doing that? Where do they go?
They can look up on. We have a UBATV.tv website, and on that website, on the top of the screen, it gives you a listing of pretty much everything you can find out about the UBA. Okay. There's an About Us area on that where if you click on that, it gives you a contact, and that can contact with anybody. I believe the franchise information goes to a few different people at the administration, and then they would contact you back and try to get you involved and figure out how we can get you involved a little bit further, whether you're an individual or a team. Right. I do know that recently Las Vegas has become a part of the organization. They had a couple teams form.
Nice.
And out of the there was a one bowling center there, I believe, and I believe one of the teams was out of South Point.
Nice.
Recently. So I don't want to.
Jeff still looking after franchises?
Jeff Lewis, I believe he's still part of our staff here. He's a very integral part of our staff here. He's a great guy. He does a lot of work with franchisees. I know Tynell. He seems to be he's our kind of our catch-all of everything. He's his self-given nickname is the UBA Siri, or the Alexa,
Siri.
I guess, of our a kind of a if you need you need an answer to a question, who do you ask? Well, Tynell knows. It's unbelievable his information that he knows about all of the organization. That he's just a wealth of information. He's usually the first person I go to. So.
And how's my guy Phil doing? PC. I like to call him PC. How's PC doing?
He's great. I thank him for giving me this opportunity to be the commissioner. I've been involved in bowling. I started as a bowler at 4 years old, 46. So I've been involved in every aspect of bowling. I ran a bowling center. I ran a pro shop. I have been bowling obviously for that long. I've done everything on the USBC side, from running leagues to being president, vice president, and so knowing all the rules of the USBC has been in my back pocket for a long time. And when I entered into the UBA, I kind of got in obviously at a later age. So just my knowledge of the sport itself is very expansive.
Yeah, it helps.
And I was really excited to take on the role last year because I think that one of the things you see in other sports is that everybody knows who the commissioner is. You look at all these groups and you say that guy's the commissioner of the sport. And when I came in, one of the things I said to Phil is that I wanted to make sure that at least everybody knew that guy's in charge. And if I have a question or I have an issue I need to get resolved, that guy's the guy I need to talk to. And so far, up until this year, with everything happened with the virus that's traveling across the country,
Yep.
it's been fairly smooth. I mean, Phil makes it very easy for me. He gives me the reins and says, go ahead, and I have a couple other people that I bounce things off of occasionally if I need to, take care of some
Sure.
protests or any kind of competition issues. But yeah, it's been great working with Phil. He's one of those kind of guys that he's always got his hand involved, but he lets you do your thing.
Yep.
You handle your end of it, and he goes, I handle my end of it. He does a lot on the back end. It's surprisingly enough, he handles a lot of the, like Storm. He'll handle all of the information, anything that comes back and forth from Storm. He's your guy. He's the guy that talks with you guys.
Yeah.
We've made a lot of strides this last year with technology, getting together with Bowl TV and getting live we had live at Mega Bowl this last year. We were live at Battle Bowl last year.
Yeah.
So that's his bread and butter. He loves doing that stuff. I know that. I know how he gets involved with all of the technology side of it, and how he likes to build our brand from behind the scenes a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he allows us, as a commissioner, and I have
to
two
kind
deputy
of carry it
commissioners.
out, right? He lets
Yep,
you guys
yeah,
kind of carry out that vision a little bit. He definitely has strong vision for how he sees the bowling community, and it's totally worked, because you cannot. One thing I just can't stress to people, I've shown people in our organization at Storm, I've got pictures on my phone and videos on my phone from the different UBA events that I've been to, and I show them and I go, you guys, look at this. You can't even walk in this bowling center. It's so many people watching, cheering, clapping. Everything about it is like magnified, right? It's like, picture the most, before COVID and before social distancing became, a new normal. The UBA would be, if I had to walk from lanes 5 and 6 down to lane 40, I have to plan a trip because it's so many people I'm going to walk by on that journey. And it's so fun that I want to go to more UBA events. That's all I know. I love it.
Yeah, it's not, and the best part about it is that you're going to hear something different. Every 5 feet you walk, you're hearing something different. Whether it's somebody cheering for someone yelling at someone about doing, somebody arguing with someone cheering, this guy's yelling at that guy because he didn't do, or that guy did this, and it's like, but then, I was cheering for, and this guy's, it's like, you're so much going on around you, like you said, at some point, I go take a walk. You take that walk and you walk up and down just to hear everything that's going on, everything. And all of a sudden, you've been gone for an hour, and you're like, I don't know where that hour went, but I didn't even realize I was gone for a whole hour, and I walked the length of a bowling alley. It's all I did. I just walked up and down the bowling alley. And and how people will stop you and talk to you and just say hello to you, and you get relationships with the centers and the people that are running centers and people that are running pro shops and even just bowlers in different centers. It's truly amazing how it's such a wide variety of people and personalities that are, some personalities are up here and some personalities are down here, and here they are bowling with each other. You'll see some of the World Championship Series, which Storm is a big sponsor of. Some of those tag teams, you put two people together, and you're like, how's this going to work? How these two guys compete together? And they do, and it works, and it's a whole different, organization when you're thinking about how many people can I put together in one space and make it all work all at one time. And it's
super fun, and you guys do a great job. Hey, let's go to Blair and see if she has any questions for you from the chat. Blair?
Okay.
We have some questions.
We got some questions. That's good. What do you got?
So you talked a little bit about where the teams are located now and how it has been expanding a little to the west. Are there any plans to have tournaments on the West Coast, or is it mainly you're trying to stay to the East?
Could you hear the question, Tom?
No, I can hear it talking, but I can't hear it.
Okay.
I can't hear it.
The question from the chat is, do you plan to have events take place on the West Coast, like maybe like a Reno or a Las Vegas or something like that, where as the UBA expands that direction westward?
Absolutely. There's been a lot of talk within the upper management about Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't anybody want to do something in Las Vegas?
Sure.
It's an easy place to land, where you have bowling alleys that you can go to, where you have plenty of space for people to stay. There's plenty of things to do there. We've tossed back and forth over the last couple of years about Battle Bowl even becoming something of a Las Vegas style tournament.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure that that's the best option for the organization to do something of that nature, only because we're so concentrated here on the East Coast right now.
Yeah,
that
for sure.
Battle Bowl, it's an easy travel area to go. Even if you're traveling from the Carolinas or you're traveling from Massachusetts, you're traveling into an area that's centralized. Delaware is a central location currently, where Battle Bowl's been the last few years, and it's very centralized for everyone. And to take it and put it somewhere as like Las Vegas, then everyone would have to travel. And coming up on this year with COVID and everything else, to travel, obviously it's going to be limited, and just being able to get yourself in a car and drive makes it a little bit easier. But yes, we do constantly have discussions about, as I said, specifically Las Vegas as being an area where we would want to have something where you could do a 3 or 4 day event of something that big.
Sure.
And making it, with our style and our type of event, but opening it up to everyone and letting everyone get involved somehow, so
Cool.
that the UBA could expand.
Good. Blair, you got another question for Mr. Tom?
Yeah, just some of Tom's favorite things about the UBA.
So a general question is, just give us 2 or 3 of your favorite things about, just in general, about the UBA.
So I'll start off with one of my personal ones, is the people. Without doubt, the people. When I was approached to join a team back in, 2013-14, when I was approached, I said absolutely. I would love to be a part of the group. It was a couple guys locally that started, and we've become a family. You see people again. Social media is the way to contact people, and a lot of the family that I'm involved with are team members, or guys that I see all the time. We bowl with each other on the weekends, and when we get together, it's a really, really fun time. As far as the organization is concerned, just the overall grouping of people that I know that when I grew up, when I was younger, we'll say maybe 15 or 20 people that I knew when I was bowling as a junior bowler have expanded into different parts of the country. And I now was able to reconnect with those people by the UBA alone.
Right.
Just in the UBA itself, being able to reconnect and say, hey, I'm on a team in South Carolina. We knew each other, and I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that, going back to this. And it's amazing how you can reconnect with people along that line, and how even when we get together, that, oh, here it comes, all the group of each other can see, like, well, we're all going to be there, so let's all get together and have a drink at the bar, let's hang out, it's like, so that in itself is something that when you see old friends, that you can get back together, and this is the way that it happens. And then as far as the UBA itself is concerned, the competition is unbelievable. There's such a wide variety of things for people to compete in. Right. And it gives everyone the opportunity to say, I had the opportunity to do this year. A singles event, a doubles event, a trios event, whatever event it is that is big, people are able to get involved somehow. And that to me is being at the head of the organization. I love to see all the events when I get to them, whether I'm traveling in the South or I'm traveling in the North, to be able to see that everybody knows that there's something there for them. There's something there for me. I'm able to do something today.
There is something for sure, and it is, it's a mixed organization, so men and women equally are competing in different events and together. Like you said, there's mixed events, there's trios, there's team, there's the whole big franchise concept of who's going to take home the championship. I mean, it's just fun. We love being a part of it. Tom, before we let you go, we usually play a game with our guests. So I want to play a game with you. It ends with a really famous question. Now that we track what happens, I'll put a shot clock up for 2 minutes, and I'll ask you a couple questions. Just fire in your answers, and maybe supply the reason why. The shot clock's going up right now. The game's called this Would You Rather, actually. Would you rather have more time or more money?
More money. I'm a little bit older now, and as we travel and we go places, I really enjoy eating in really nice places and traveling to really fun places. So more money would be better for that, and you can always make time. So.
Yeah. Would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button on your life?
Pause. Everything that I've got is great right now. I've got a great family, 2 kids that are great. And I would rather just stop the way it is right now and just keep going on, because the old person was a whew.
That's awesome. I love that. Would you rather say everything that's on your mind or never speak again?
I got to say everything that's on my mind. People know me. They know that I'm a talker. Obviously, I'm here talking today a lot. I can never keep my mouth shut. My head would explode.
All right, now you said earlier in the show that you're 47 years old, and so you're going to be in the middle of this, probably leaning my direction on this answer, but would you rather make a phone call or send a text message?
Text message, actually.
Really? Okay.
Surprisingly enough, yeah. Sometimes, because phone calls are what they are. You know, you have to take the time to pick up the phone, to dial the phone, to get the conversation. Sometimes the conversation takes longer than, the phone call takes longer than the conversation. So
yeah, of course, a quick text.
I'm into the newer technology as far as that's concerned. A quick text sometimes is better than a phone call.
All right. Would you rather put a stop to war or end world hunger?
Whew, that's a good one. I'm going to say end world hunger. It's a shame, especially with children, to see that there are children out there that are negatively affected by hunger and that they just can't get any kind of meal, and nevertheless, 1 meal or 10 meals. As I said earlier, I enjoy going out and having a good meal, and I would gladly give any one of those up for a child or anybody else anywhere that would just have a bowl of rice or anything that could be a sustenance for them. So that's the way I would go on that one. So.
All right, here's your final question. It's famous now. At this point, it's become famous anyway. Would you rather be attacked by a great white shark or a tiger in the wild, and why? Why would you choose your fate?
All right. I guess I would choose the great white shark. I was always a waterhead. I guess growing up, I was a lifeguard when I was younger. I enjoy the water itself. We take a yearly trip up to Nantucket up in Massachusetts, and being able to sit on the water and look out into the open water and calmness is probably my way to go. And being as the shark's probably not the calm in the water, it's I'm not more of a wilderness guy than I am a water guy, so I guess I would go with the shark.
So I brought Blair back into our thing. She is Team Shark all the way.
100%.
She's a shark.
She's Team Shark. She says all the smart people pick shark,
pretty
right?
much.
And I pick tiger, so we know where I am on the intelligent level here. All right.
You also would make a phone call to that tiger too. So.
I would make a phone call.
Yeah.
I'd call a tiger. You would text a shark. That's
he would
right.
get eaten as he was making the phone call.
Blair, we have time for one last question from the chat for Tom. Then we will let him go, and we'll be back with Blair's question of the day, where you guys can win a fabulous prize. So, Blair, is there any further questions for Tom before we let him out?
Some fans were asking if there were any other, like, maybe pro bowlers that were part of any franchises. Do you have any?
Oh, man. Yeah, I know the answer to this one. So, Tom, the question from the fans is, are there any pro bowlers that are members of franchises? And you and I know this answer.
Yeah, well, I'll start. I probably won't start where you think I'm going to start, but one of the persons I'm going to start with is Danny Weissman. He was a part of Outrage. They were our champions last year.
Yeah.
He is a participant. I see his name a lot. He does participate, even though he's probably does a lot of national work.
Yeah.
And then the big head, the big hair, everybody knows it. Kyle Troop is a part of one of our southern teams. He's from, I believe, North Carolina.
Yeah.
One of the teams down there he's a part of. Danielle McEwen, I believe, is on a team.
I think Anthony Pepe.
Anthony Pepe is in a New York team.
Matt O'Grady was probably a part of something. I will say this, folks, that if you go to a UBA event, you're going to see some national touring players at the event bowling alongside. Last year, Storm took Pete Weber, and Pete bowled matches against people and had some fun, and it was filmed, and Pete actually lost in his big we did this contract match that Phil and I always chat about. Hey, let's put up a Storm contract, and if you beat the Storm Pro, you earn your contract. And I always tell our pro team, I said, there is no throwing off. Go win the match. And last year, Pete Weber lost his match, and it was a fun match. It was packed. The whole bowling center was watching the match. It was fantastic.
That's as big as the day that we had the championship matches. It was like stadium seating. Everybody was watching, and people were cheering, and even on both sides. I mean, because sometimes you'll get some teams that are like, I'm rooting against that guy because he's on a different team, and they're going to root for the pro, even though it's a pro out there. Yeah. So, yeah, I know we've had a bunch of guys in the past couple. Brad Angelo's been here a few times. Yeah. He's a nice guy. We see a couple pros. It's great to have Storm bring in some guys and gals. We've had some girls come in and bowl contract matches as well. So this past year, I think, was the first time we had a tag team match for contracts. So that was... Yeah, it's been great.
It's fun. And Tom, thank you, and thank you to the UBA for everything you guys do actually for the sport of bowling, because it's providing a whole nother level of entertainment. If you're a fan of bowling, and if you currently aren't on a team, I recommend you checking out the UBA and trying to form your own franchise, or get in with an existing franchise, find one that's in your neighborhood, in your local regional area, and then start competing and having some fun. Tom, any parting words before we let you go?
I really want to see everything go back to normal, as everybody does.
Yeah, of course.
We have a few announcements coming up that are going to be important to our organization, that are going to affect everyone one way or another. So everyone should be kind of looking out for that. We've been in constant reviewing all of the information that comes out about every state that's happening. Yeah. Because you don't know. You really don't know. This is a daily change of information.
Every day,
and
for sure.
Right. Anything could be possible moving forward. So I just want all of our people to be listening up and see what's coming out currently. And we have a few things that we're going to be altering and changing for this upcoming season because of the COVID and all the virus. So and how some centers might be affected one way or the other.
Sure.
So yeah, there's a lot of information coming out. Everybody talks about it on social media, but we will be answering a lot of questions that people probably have within the next coming month and a half or so. They're going to get a lot of information coming out from upper management to what's happening. But again, as I said earlier, UBATV.tv is the way to get a lot of the information that we have available out there. And I am at commissioner@undergroundbowling.com. They could always send me an email personally, and I'll attempt to get them the right information as well. So
awesome. Well, Tom, thank you for being our guest on this Friday afternoon. I hope you have a great weekend. And until until we chat again, I will wish your Pittsburgh Steelers good luck when the NFL season gets underway.
Yeah, I hope to see him this year. I hope we can get out there and watch him and cheer for him. So thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. We love Storm. We love seeing you guys come out to the events that we have. I'm sure I'll see you coming up soon at one of these events. And
Absolutely.
It'd be great talking to you. So
I'll be there. I'm going to bring Blair with me when next time we go because Blair will love the UBA, and she hasn't experienced it in person yet. And you have to experience it in person.
It's an in-person thing. There's
is.
a lot of things out there that you need to see, and one of our bigger UBA events is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, the competition and the people. So
yeah. All right, Tom, thanks so much for your time. Blair, it is time for the question of the day.
Yes.
That was our friend Tom
Yes.
from UBA, which is great. What do you got for us here?
So it was mentioned early on in the video that you showed.
Okay.
But when did the vision or the UBA actually get underway? What year?
Yeah.
And we'll go with the fourth person. to get it
PC
right.
said it
Yep.
in his tiny little boy. You must have had to be paying attention.
It's on their website too. But
Oh.
if you were paying attention, it was a good year too. I liked that year.
You did?
I did.
Was it in the 2000s or the 1900s or
It
the
was
1800s?
the 2000s.
2000s. Okay, it wasn't the 1800s.
If you know how old I am, it was the year I graduated high school. So if that helps you at all, I'm not sure that would help.
So like 2019.
No. Oh my God. I'm not that young, Gary.
Okay. All right, Blair. Well, let's. I don't know. I had fun today.
This was a good one.
I had fun with the UBA. I love the UBA. I really love chatting with PC, and I enjoyed our time with Tom Twist, the commish of the UBA today, and everyone in the organization. For me, my go-to guy when we're going and planning anything UBA is Philip. So PC.
Right.
And Jeff Lewis. Jeff Lewis, my guy. He's been my guy. We chat, we text, we have fun conversations.
Sure.
And we try to plan fun things and activities during the big Battle Bowl. Because Battle Bowl is the one time a year that we historically go, which right now it's scheduled for August, so I don't know if that's going to change or not change, but it's at Bowl-O-Rama, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
Bowl-O-Rama, and I love that part of the country. It's Delaware, and it's a huge,
The
beautiful...
East Coast is awesome.
The
I
East
love
Coast
the
is
East
awesome.
Coast.
It's like a suburb of Philadelphia, so I'm not sure what the future holds, but I do know if they have Battle Bowl that I will be in attendance, and we will bring some pros to that event, and we will have some fun, and we will support and, I don't know, be excited about bowling.
Always. Hey, you know who else is always excited about bowling? We need to give a shout out to today.
I do. Blair, in fact, this is a good segue, Blair. You know what today is, people?
I think people in the chat do know because they've been saying.
They do?
Yeah, they're pretty bright. Our chat's pretty bright.
All right, on your screen is our co-founder, Bill Chrisman. Of course, he's the co-founder with his wife, Barbara Chrisman. And today is Bill's birthday.
Yep.
Yes.
So big happy birthday to Bill. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what he's doing to celebrate today. Normally, we're all together at Bowl Expo, so it's
We
kind
are
of weird.
normally, you're right.
Yeah.
Around Bill's birthday is usually Bowl Expo.
Yeah.
However, this year there's no Bowl Expo.
So they get to spend
And
it at
I
home.
do know where he is, but it's an undisclosed location.
Oh, we
because
won't tell.
I talked to him this morning to wish him happy birthday, and him and Barbara are together.
Very good.
And they're not at Storm. One thing you guys will love about Bill, after all these years of founding, starting,
Working hard.
growing,
Yeah.
and working his butt off with Barbara to help Storm grow, you will love the fact that when he is in Utah and not traveling and at home, he comes to Storm HQ
Every day.
almost every day.
Yeah.
Almost every day.
Yeah, he does.
And he is involved in still meetings,
Yeah.
and he teaches us things about how things were and how things are, and he still shares his vision.
He does.
And I know Dave Sims is our longtime Storm president, and he really runs the day-to-day stuff. But Bill and Dave still collaborate constantly on what's next at Storm.
Yeah.
It's super cool. So happy birthday, Bill Chrisman. We hope that you have a great one. We hope that you have a great day. Thank you, Blair. Can you imagine bowling without Bill and Barbara Chrisman?
No, not even a little bit. I didn't even realize how much, like, things that I was part of before I worked at Storm, now I know that they were behind the scenes doing it. And I'm like, that's just, it's amazing how much they actually have done for the sport.
It is astonishing how much they have given back to the sport of bowling, the people involved in it. Of course, their team, their family, their employees here at Storm. They just continue to do things for our sport, which help the sport thrive.
Absolutely.
And it's pretty cool. So let's all celebrate Bill Chrisman's birthday today. Blair, did you get any winners from your Blair's question?
Oh, yeah. Some people got it right.
Nice.
Not sure. Yeah, we definitely. I'll go back and timestamp them, and we'll send a prize. Everyone loves your jersey.
Yeah, this is our UBA jersey.
I need one of those.
So the Brigham City, can you guys see it? Brigham City Bolts is the name of our UBA franchise. And you know what we're going to do in 2021, Blair?
What?
We're going to expand our franchise. I think I am the franchise, I don't know what it is. Like, what is it called if you're the head of the franchise?
The owner?
Yeah, I'm not the owner. Bill Chrisman's the owner of the Brigham City Bolts, but I'm the guy that manages.
Like the captain.
I'm like the manager of our franchise, I guess.
So can I join the franchise?
Yes, and this is what I'm going to say to all of our Storm Nation. If you've stayed this long in our show, you're going to get a reward right now. If you want to be on our Brigham City Bolts team in our franchise,
great.
I'm going to make this available. So you're going to message Blair.
Yes.
Because I'm going on vacation, so I won't be here to answer your message. Send Blair. Blair, where do people send you messages?
Send them to Storm Bowling. Hit message the page, and we'll get the message there.
And if you want to be a part of the Brigham City Bolts, now this is a Storm team, so you're going to be a Storm person. You got to be a Storm person.
You got to have Storm balls.
You gotta love Storm and breeze Storm, and if you're gonna be on our team, if we're gonna invite you onto our franchise and get cool jerseys,
it's a sweet jersey.
Then you gotta be a Storm person. So anyway, message Blair at our what was it? Storm Bowling.
Storm Bowling. I have about 10 different nicknames, so I don't know what nickname I'm going to be putting on the back of my jersey. I have to decide.
Yeah, you get to create your own name.
Wait.
So my name is G Money. Yeah, that's what it is, G Money. And we look forward to having you on the roster possibly. And there's probably going to I'm kind of a mean manager, so there's probably going to be a very deep interrogation before you're allowed to become on the team. What do you think, Blair?
I have no comment. You're my manager, so I cannot comment at this point in the show.
We need more players, and it's fun, and we'll compete at Paddle Bowl again next time they have it, whether it's this August or next year, whatever it may be. And I don't know, Blair. Until then, happy birthday, Bill Chrisman. Thanks for everything you do for everyone in the sport of bowling. Blair, have a great weekend and enjoy your week next week. Enjoy me not being around and being on vacation.
Yeah, good. Well, have a great vacation with your family, Gabe.
I will.
I think it'll be great.
Yeah, we're going to get away, just visit some family.
And we have some really cool guests. Not that...
Yeah, you got good stuff lined up.
Great guests next week. Great show. We got Lindsay Boomershine on Monday.
Yeah.
We have a proprietor from Wyoming joining us on Wednesday.
Cool.
And he was voted Proprietor of the Year.
Proprietor of the Year, that's
And
amazing.
our regional sales manager, Zach Trevino, will be joining me for that show.
Cool.
And we have Steve Klumpkin next Friday.
SK in the house.
Yep.
All right. Stay safe and stay healthy, friends. Take care.